Meet Harley, an 85-pound sack of lumbering happiness.
My name is Emily Wood. My parents are Dan and Liane Wood.
My name is Lori. My parents are also Dan and Liane Wood.
Harley is actually a European-bred black lab.
Originally used for hunting, labs have a long history of service. They are highly intelligent, versatile, and reliable.
That tail of his is a weapon. You can't keep anything at tail level unless you want it like thrown across the room and destroyed.
You found me, Mom!
My name is Dan Wood. I am Liane's husband. He is extremely intelligent.
Have a kiss?
Even when you don't want them, he will pick up shoes and bring them right to the person who owns them.
Yes, thank you.
He has a lot of energy.
Come on, hurry!
He'll submerge his whole head into the kiddie pool to get this little ball, and then he runs around the yard showing everyone this ball that he's got.
But Harley does a lot more than fetch shoes and dive for balls. He's also an invaluable service dog for his handler Liane Wood, whom suffers from complex PTSD.
My wife is absolutely gorgeous. Back in high school, she swam competitively. Summertime, they always spent up at the lake, always in the water. I'm big into motorcycles, and Liane loves to ride. She's outgoing, full of life, and a spark of energy.
Gotcha!
But that spark nearly went out on a frigid February night in 2013. Ron and Liane were closing up after a church function when they heard something that would change their lives forever.
Just standing ready to set the alarm in the church when we heard a loud bang.
My friend was parked in the car right beside me. Something happened and her car actually ended up rolling back into the river.
We went running out and there was just a giant hole in the fence. This is where the vehicle went in, and then down behind the building is where it ended up on its roof. First thought in my mind was Megan's in the car. We've got to get her out.
So there was a big ladder in the sanctuary, and we grabbed the ladder.
It took two of us to get the ladder down into the water because the current was ripping it out of our hands.
And I walked over to the ladder and I said, I'll go in.
She never hesitated a second. She was on the ladder and down into the water.
I remember feeling the coldness of the water.
So it was at that point that I caught my breath and decided that I needed to go in and assist her.
It was pitch black. We could not see our hands in front of our faces.
And they actually went to the back and found that the hatch was open at the back.
And so then we called for Megan.
I can honestly say the sweetest words I ever heard was when she responded, "I'm here."
And we helped her out the back of the vehicle. As soon as we went around the side of the vehicle, we hit the current full force and it knocked both Megan and I down.
I knew that I couldn't get them both back to the ladder.
So she was holding onto the side of the car while my dad had Megan and brought her over to the ladder.
It was hard looking up at my girls standing on the wall.
Although Megan was safe, Liane was in trouble.
I couldn't stand anymore, and it sort of started to sink in that, you know, if I didn't get help, I wasn't getting out of the river.
Losing her grip against the strong and frigid current, she had given up hope.
Liane had resolved herself to the fact that this was the end. She ran through the things in her mind that, you know, the last thing my kids saw me do was something heroic to save their friend. So if this is the end, this is the end.
So, Dan came back to me.
And helped her from that point get back up to the ladder again where she was assisted out. It was just as I was climbing off the ladder back up onto the parking lot that the first emergency vehicles began to pull in.
Even though they were out of the water, they were far from out of the woods. While Liane looked the same on the outside, the trauma of that fateful night had changed her on the inside.
The human brain just cannot process its own death in that way.
I mean, aside from the fact that the accident was still running through my mind, it really wasn't sticking out to me that I was the one that was having a major problem. As time went on, though, things became more difficult for me. Dark is a problem, cold is a problem, water is a problem.
She was very depressed and she couldn't go to work because she couldn't focus.
She wouldn't even get out of bed anymore.
My doctor, I said to her, like, I don't know why this is happening. And she's just like, Liane, you have post-traumatic stress disorder. oh, okay. I just lost hope at that point in time. I was like, I don't know how to fix any of this.
But Liane was determined to explore all possible options.
I just decided that God hadn't brought me through the things that he brought me through for me to be defeated by PTSD. So I started doing a lot of research online, and the studies that I saw overwhelmingly said dogs help.
She talked to several different people about the benefits of what a service dog could do for her.
I found Dominion Assistance Dogs online, which is a local service dog organization.
Dominion Assistance Dogs is actually an organization that provides service dogs for people with PTSD.
So we met Lisa Marie. Okay. She was very honest with us. She said, you know, this process could take a couple of years. You could meet 12 dogs before we find the one for you. Our mindset was, well, if it takes 2 years, then we better get started now. We were just very focused on doing whatever we could to make the situation better. So what should have taken a couple of months with the paperwork took us less than 3 weeks. And I remember scanning it and emailing it to Lisa Marie on Friday. And on the following Monday, she called and she said, I have a dog I'd like you to meet. And my thought was, okay, I'm not going to get excited about this. She told me we're going to meet a lot of dogs. So we went out to her place and we met Harley.
And Lisa and Dan will tell you it was a match made in heaven.
The second my mom interacted with them, you could absolutely tell that they were meant for each other.
I had told Lisa Marie that I don't like overly excited dogs, but when he came over to meet me, he just walked over.
He went right past everyone and went straight to my mom the first time we met him, and that was when we knew that my mom and Harley were meant to be together.
It was very much a big turning point.
I could see a change in her within a month. She was getting out of bed and she was starting to participate in family activities.
Harley has made a huge impact in Liane's life. I don't know where to begin. There's so many things.
He stops my nightmares. He jumps up on my bed and he physically leans into me.
When a person with post-traumatic stress disorder has a trigger, they will shut right down.
Go get Dan.
So if Liane shuts right down,
Go get Dan.
Harley is then trained to go and find me and bring me back to Liane.
Thank you, buddy.
If we are in line at a store, Harley immediately goes in front of my mom and he blocks the people in front of her. Or if we're at the counter, he watches the people to make sure that no one's getting too close to her. Honestly, there's nothing that my mom can't do when Harley's with her.
Liane hopes her daughter is right, because she is set on tackling one of her greatest triggers.
I've always loved swimming.
Since this accident, she will not go swimming.
She's talked about it and thought about it, but no, she's not been able to go back into the river.
Liane is at one of her favorite beaches. With the help of her service dog Harley, she is attempting to go into the water for the first time since saving her daughter's friend from the icy river 3 years ago.
There's a chance he could bring back swimming. I don't know. This dog is incredible. As much as I hate to admit it at times.
We'll see if the enjoyment comes back. I'd be happy just to, I think, get in the water and not be panicked.
I'm feeling apprehensive. That's pretty typical for me, but Harley is definitely helping and just showing me that water is fun.
But getting Liane back in the water wasn't the only miracle Harley brought to this pastor's family.
There was a lot of stuff that we just didn't do anymore. It felt like we were just going to drift apart and that's all it was going to be. And then Harley came into the picture, and in the past year and a half that we've had him, I've never gotten closer with my family before in my life. Harley was able to give me that back.